the vampire hunter Blade
versus all the demons in Demon Slayer, because they're kinda like vampires, not really, they are weak to sun, but that's about it. And due to this traditional weakness of a vampire, we're trying to see if Blade can solo the verse due to his many sunlight gadgets.
To make this fight fair and worth watching, we decided to use Blade from his trilogy movies in the late 90s and early 2000s. We'll go over Blade and then we'll put him against all the demons after. Anyway, let's get started. Eric Brooks, otherwise known as Blade, is a vampire and human hybrid who hunts vampires. He's known as the Daywalker, which essentially means that he has all the perks of being a vampire, but without any of the weaknesses. To get a better understanding of his strength, we're going to look at his fights. So we're going to skip past the first movie. Really, the only strength feat was when he hit someone so hard they went flying through glass, and his final fight with a quote vampire god didn't really show any real strength feats. Now in the second movie, when he was fighting a variant of a vampire who isn't affected by silver, Blade had to throw hands with him, in which they were bending metal and cracking walls. Blade was also low-key getting pieced up. I mean, look at this. But in the end, he did win. With that being said, Blade was able to trade blows with Nomak, giving him wall or even small building levels of attack power. When fighting Dracula, Blade got slammed by the king of vampires, and it didn't really do much to Blade. The slamming feat is probably building level max because of the destruction it caused and because Blade seems perfectly fine. He even kept up with Dracula the whole fight, so the maximum Blade can maybe output is higher than what Dracula did here, but with normal punches and no slamming, probably just wall level. Don't worry guys, Blade has many gadgets we can talk about. For speed, it's gonna get a bit tricky and really inconsistent. For starters, the regular vampire speed is actually just terrible. Most of them are slower than Blade's bullets, but some of them are able to react and dodge them. Like Deacon Frost, we have seen him dodge Blade's silver bullets, which would be supersonic speeds. Other times you have vampires dodging light. Let me explain. Blade has an ultralight violet grenade that emits, well, light. In this scene, we see Nisa dodging the blast caused by the light grenade. This is a bit weird. The light should have killed her because we see it reflecting off of her face. We're not really sure how she was still alive. Anyways, she was already anticipating the blast. Blade told them to leave the area as he was going to set off the light bomb. The light was also coming from a distance, so you could make another argument that the light wasn't bright enough to hurt her yet, and she saw the light coming down the tunnel, but it's really up to you. But for the sake of the video, she was able to react and dodge the light, and obviously Blade would be relative to her. But regardless on whether you count it or not, we get Blade to be anywhere between hypersonic speeds to faster than light speeds. But we're just really talking about reaction time / movement speeds, not really traveling. We'll consider both his hypersonic speeds and his light speeds. Super iffy on light speed reaction, but whatever. Blade has a heavy artillery, including guns with silver bullets, UV grenades, UV light attachment, stakes, these things which we can't really show the effects of because Big Daddy YouTube gonna take the money away from us. Just keeping it real. And the stake gun that can travel 6,000 feet in a second. So if we slap the light grenade on that and launch it at one of the demons, it could be wraps. The only real weapons that will help Blade is everything that's UV and the stake gun because it moves fast, and maybe he could do something with the gun. Blade also has insane regenerative abilities, able to just heal from almost dying, and he gets stronger when he regenerates too, as he needs to drink blood to do so. Now vampires can grow back entire limbs, but the only problem with that is that it can take a while, probably like a day or so. So yeah, that's basically it. Unless there's something crazy that happens that we forgot to mention about Blade, but we're gonna move on.
Okay, so let's dive into some Demon Slayer mess and look at the Upper Moons, Muzan, and Emu too. Seeing how Blade has many gadgets that emit sunlight or UV light, the very thing that demons die to, obviously these demons are dead if they can't react to these attacks, so we're gonna look at their reaction speed. So let's look at Zenitsu. Yes, we know his lightning attacks are purely visual, but he was still able to create booms that sounded like thunder every time he used his first form, meaning he was breaking the sound barrier. And characters like the Hashiras are obviously much faster than this, and this was season 1 Zenitsu. So looking at an attack that is real lightning, we're going to look at Hantengu. If you disagree this isn't lightning, we just talked about beginning of the story Zenitsu being able to break the sound barrier and Hashiras being leagues ahead of him at the time, as well as Murichiro being able to cut 10,000 fishes, which some people got it to Mach 100. Now we don't personally think it's Mach 100, but due to what we said prior and that too, we're going to assume this is real lightning. So Tanjiro was able to dodge this lightning on multiple occasions, and yeah, he may have anticipated it, which would make him far less fast than what he would be if he didn't anticipate these attacks. But someone who didn't even know about the attack, didn't anticipate it, and straight up dodged it and even negated it was Mitsuri. And she didn't do this once, she did this twice. And it looks like she's trolling, bro.
Are Are you winning, son?
So comparing her to other Hashiras, we're going to compare her to Gyome. Now the manga even said itself that Gyome was the strongest Hashira, and this guy got speed blitzed or perception blitzed twice. So someone that can react to lightning being relative to Gyome, or Gyome being stronger and faster than her, gets perception blitzed by Kokushibo, the Upper Moon 1. And let me do some quick explaining just in case you don't know what that is. If a normal person reacts in 200 milliseconds and a punch comes at you in 100 milliseconds, you might flinch or even react to it because it's only 2 times fast. But if a punch gets thrown at you at 20 milliseconds and your perception is 200 milliseconds, that is 10 times faster than your perception, and you just got perception blitz and there's no way you can dodge. Unless you do dodge, then like you're just different. The first attack, Gyome was able to react just in time. The second attack, he didn't react at all, meaning Kokushibo could be moving faster than lightning timed attacks. And we're not going to use Kaiguki. This guy, we're not going to use this guy because he's high-key featless. He showed up and then showed out. So the Upper Moon demons could be anywhere from sonic to massively hypersonic if you want to go there. And Muzan, if you read the manga, is much stronger and faster than all his upper demons by a lot. So manga spoilers obviously, but Mitsuri couldn't even react to Muzan. She was relying on luck and intuition. And Muzan wasn't even struggling, and then when all the Hashiras jumped in, he clapped them all. So yeah, seeing how their reaction times are pretty fast, it's possible they could react to Blade and potentially dodge him if we go into that massively hypersonic range. And then Enmu, who's most likely not massively hypersonic, can like, you know, stay in the back and put Blade to sleep while everyone takes him out. Or even Gyoko, who could possibly poison him, but since Blade can regenerate, he might detoxify the poison, which brings in another point. Can he heal from the demon's blood? I have 3 scenarios for you guys. 1, it's demon's blood and Blade could turn into a demon. 2, once they see Blade drink the blood and regenerate, they're going to close their wounds because they can do that. Or 3, none of that happens and Blade just regenerates like normal. So we're going to say Blade drinks blood and nothing happens to him. He just regenerates fully. And his regeneration strong, like we mentioned earlier, he was able to regenerate from almost dying. But if his limbs cut off, that's a different story because like we said before, it does take time for the limbs to come back, unlike a demon. And if Blade does manage to kill like 1 or 2 demons, these demons also have a last resort attack where they could explode a town. Okay, obviously this wasn't an explosion, it was a bunch of slashes, and it was a giant output of energy, not like a single output, so it's not that powerful, but it still could be potentially dangerous. All these slashes at once are either like wall level or building level. There's just so many of them that it just wipes out a town. So saying Blade has building level durability, he'll basically be unharmed because he was also unharmed by the giant slam. And if all these attacks are like small building level or wall level, it won't harm Blade that much, but it still could, you know, hurt him or like fatigue him, but like he won't be super harmed. Going back on regenerative abilities, Muzan's regeneration is insane. He's able to regenerate instantly after lightning reaction people are cutting him, and he just regenerates. But being damaged by UV lights could be very different. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I do not recall someone being damaged by the sun and then regenerating instantly. Besides Nezuko, but like she conquered the sun, so I mean, and we're also not using her, so these demons can heal extremely fast as long as there's no sunlight, so Blade can only rely on his UV lights because you need a specific sword to end a demon's life, which Blade does not have. Even if we do give Blade the UV light sword or whatever, the demons can still change the weak spots on their body. And yes, I know the strongest demons died to these swords, but if you really think about it, most of the demons that lost was because of plot, backstory after backstory, or poison preparation, ugliness, or you just became a demon, you don't know what you're doing, or you have to protect your sister. But if we give Blade light speed and the UV light, bro's gonna be moving like Yoriichi. But we're not gonna give him the UV light sword because like he doesn't have one, dude. So, and in terms of speed, if we do use light speed, the only person closest to Blade in that sense would be Muzan. Weakened Muzan, due to multiple poisons that was making him age and weaker, was taking out all the Hashiras easily. So if they're all jumping Blade at once with their insane, you know, regenerative abilities, Blade is cooked. So the only thing he has to rely on is his UV lights. And the problem with these UV lights is they take time to explode. So yeah, Blade's cooked, and it takes 10 seconds. It takes 10 seconds. So unless all the demons gather around the UV light and just go, oh, what's this? And get exploded, we don't think Blade's winning. Let's say we give Blade light speed reactions and the grenades explode on contact. Yeah, the demons are done for, but they don't explode on contact. So only scenario I can think of is Blade outsmarts the demons with his dodging and light speed reactions. And while he's dodging, he has like a grenade in his hand and he set the timer off, and at 1 second or like half a second, he just throws it. That's the only scenario I see him winning. But if you're super iffy on the light speed reactions, which I am too, and give Blade massively hypersonic speeds, Blade is dead. There's no plot device here that will make the demons lose. No backstory. Oh, and another thing, if we give Blade light speed reactions and he's dodging the demons and waiting for his grenade to explode, there's always Enmu. who can just go like, go to sleep, Blade, and it's wraps. And the very last thing that we want to mention is the Infinity Castle. What is Blade going to do in that situation? Let's say Blade does, hurt the demons, like burn off their arm with the UV light. If Muzan teleports, bro, to the Infinity Castle, then all the demons just scatter and just wait to heal. Blade is going to run out of grenades, or he's just gonna like sit there and do nothing. So yeah, that's that. Let us know what fight you want next. We're trying to do Demon Slayer because, like, the Demon Slayer movie is coming out next month. And peace out, guys. Have a good day.